Welcome to the Jets Life podcast, and what a beautiful life it is to be a Jet fan nowadays. I'm your host, Anthony, joined by, as always, on these Tuesday nights, not as always because you missed last week's show, but we'll let it slide. Big Dog joined the show. We have
What's
another
up,
Dog
buddy?
joining up later on today. Not sure when he'll be able to make it. He's up in Mobile, Alabama. Dom C will be a special guest today. Give us some of his scouting intake. Give us some feedback on what he's seeing in Mobile, Alabama. Give us his thoughts on some of the draft prospects that the Jets can go for in the first few rounds of April's draft. But a lot of news to get to. Let's start with the big news of the day. A team with no vision is what it seems like. Tanner Engstrand, promising offensive coordinator, not a great one, obviously. He had a lot to work with in his first year as a play caller, but he showed some promise. Well, he was let go today. And the question's right there. What the heck is going on at One Jets Drive?
Oh boy, I don't even know where to start with this one. And I mean, what is it? January? When was the Jets season officially over? I mean, besides
January 5th, 6th,
January 5th, and here we are almost a month later. They decide to move ways with Tanner Engstrand. So we're like a month behind course of trying to hire at least somebody legitimate. So now we're
getting a defense coordinator too. Jesus Christ!
Yeah. Now we're just getting the leftovers of who's left, and it's just another proven fact that this regime is just not getting it, man. They're just thinking up that room so bad, it's not even funny. I mean, I don't know what to say anymore. I mean, this is as inept as I've ever seen it.
It just, it just looks really bad when you're brought in as a head coach. And the big thing you kept hearing about him when he first got hired is this guy's going to be able to bring in a staff. He's going to be able to hire quality coaches. And he's been in the league doing this stuff for, a number of years. He's been in scouting world. He's done this, he's done that. And it looks very, very bad when that was like your claim to fame, and both your coordinators are gone. Critical position coaches are gone all across the defensive staff. Quarterback coach is gone, which we all thought was going to happen anyway. But it looks really bad too, from like the aspect of like, when you're hired on as a first-time coach, especially on one side of the football, the general consensus is like you should hire someone with experience on the other side of the ball. He didn't. He went the inexperienced offensive coordinator route, which is fine if you're going to go that route. But it looks terrible when all you gave that guy that you hired is one season to develop with
nothing. With
guys like Justin Fields, Brady Cook, Tyrod Taylor throwing the football. TJ Dalton, the Jets Life podcast thumbnails. Oh, yeah, you like my thumbnails, huh? I've been working on them. It's been a work in progress. It's a lot better than just having my logo there. I'll tell you what, the thumbnails are actually. Have you seen them when you like log into the show? Did it show you?
No, I didn't see it. No.
They're actually. I got to credit ChatGPT for creating the thumbnails.
Nice.
They actually got pretty sweet. I gotta show you the last few that I've made.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's actually pretty fun to make them too. The best one was the dunce cap I gave to Aaron Glenn. I think it was like after the season ended. It was like Aaron Glenn pissed off with the dunce cap. Some of them are fun to make.
Oh man. Thank God we got each other. That's all I gotta say. It's the only thing that keeps us from jumping off that bridge, bro. We all are Jet fans. We talk our misery together. We get over it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way to get through this shit.
That's why we call it the Jets Life podcast, because it's a wonderful life.
You know what I was thinking today? I was thinking like, dude, it's already like, how the tank started last year to this year. The tank
already started. It's not. It's
like
full effect.
We're already talking about the tank for 2027.
I got a laugh on Twitter today. Brian Costello was like, at least every offseason, typically the Jets like win the offseason and the team looks good heading into training camp. He's like, but this year, he goes, this year it looks like the Jets are already down 21-0 to the offseason.
He's right. It's like Bro, we have nothing to look forward to. Like, think about this.
Bro, if you were a free agent, why would you want to come here? You know this whole thing is getting bro.
If I were Woody, I mean, listen, I think Woody already has his mind made up, dude. He knows that he's like Aaron Glenn's done. I just don't know why they didn't fire him. That's number one. But number two is like, I mean, if he's not going to give Aaron Glenn all the resources he needs to succeed, then why keep him? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
They have to hire another staff. That's the problem.
I think that's part of the reason. I think, and I'm not saying it's a reason to give Woody any sort of grace for this. Obviously, he hired him. But I think the big factor you can kind of take into this whole thing is if you let Aaron Glenn ride this out, all right, let's say you fired him this year. You bring in an offensive coordinator. You're probably not going to get an attractive one this offseason.
No,
let's be real.
Yeah.
It would be whatever bottom of the barrel hire there might be. You'd probably go into next offseason firing that guy too. So now you're going into like a critical offseason 2027 with 2 back-to-back with 3 years in a row firing coaches. It doesn't look attractive. Granted, this job doesn't look attractive as it is currently stated right now. But at least if you let Aaron Glenn run this out, you always have that like feather in your cap that, we've run a track record of giving our coaches time to get things right. We just felt like this was an opportunity for us having all the draft capital and this and that, blah, blah, blah. We felt like this was the right year to transition. Hopefully a top pick in the draft makes this job even more enticing. And you just gotta freaking cross your fingers, man. That's all I can really say. I was talking the other day, and it's like you look at the Jets' schedule right now, and it looks like there's probably like 3 games you could flip a coin to, maybe 4.
I'm assuming one.
You gotta understand, like
Tennessee, Cleveland,
Raiders, Arizona.
I don't
know. Maybe one of the Dolphin games, but they beat it. They smoked us both times this year, so I doubt that. So you have to understand too, like every single one of those teams we just named, I believe, has a brand new coaching staff coming in. So there's a big uncertainty there. We're gonna have the worst coach in the league this year. Like it's not even a debate. Like, yeah, maybe one of these new coaches just doesn't cut it. Like Arizona's probably in a rough situation from a coaching standpoint. Same with Cleveland, but I still I can't see how it gets much worse than what we're dealing with right now. At least Cleveland's got Shedeur. Say what he is, but he's a Pro Bowler.
I don't know how the hell that happened. Hey,
Arizona's least got
today. I was like, huh? Am I reading this right? It was a joke.
Nobody's going to that shit anymore. They're not taking it seriously anymore. So it basically run down the line.
Think about this. Next year's schedule, like you brought up, there are 32 teams in the NFL. One of them are the Jets. Every team that plays the Jets on their calendar, they have a big green W on them.
Oh, yeah.
You understand that? There is not one team that does not think they could beat the Jets. I mean, that the Jets could beat them. Not one. Not even Cleveland, dude. Cleveland's going to dog us next year.
Well, we'll see what they got going on at quarterback. They can't be starting.
They got a Pro Bowler quarterback. Oh, what did Danger Zone say?
Well, he's been saying a few things here. First thing he said a moment ago was could be worse. 3 years ago, we hired OC named Nathaniel Hackett. That was bad. I think Woody would give Aaron Glenn his kidney if Glenn needed it. I don't know. I said a while back that all we have are draft picks today. I mean,
yeah, I mean he's right. I mean that is the only thing. And you know what? Even though this year we have 2 picks this year, 4 in the top 44, whatever it is. But next year, I mean, whoever the head coach, listen, if they fire Glenn, which I think they will, unless he turns it around and they win 9-10 games this year, which I don't think is going to happen. But I mean, it's an attractive job, man. You got 3 number ones, 1 number 2. You're going to have over like $140, $150 million in cap space.
Well, that's assuming they don't use any this year. They're going to use some of that money.
They're going to use some of it, but I mean, they'll make room, whatever, even 100 cap space. Plus, you're going to have like some coaches out there. I mean, listen, there's possibilities of coaches like, Kubiak out of Denver. You know what I'm saying? Possibility. You have what happens if O'Connell gets fired in Minnesota? Possibility. The guy out of the Colts. What's his name over there? The head coach on the Colts. What's his name?
Steichen.
Yeah, if he gets fired because they're having a shit year, boom. Throws at 3 guys, 1, 2, 3. Let's go. And then you still have Cliff Kingsbury, and I mean, there's some options, bro. I want offensive-minded coach, and
Yeah, but I don't want Kingsbury. But yeah, it's a scary situation. I know Frank Reich's out there. My question of Frank Reich, I mean, it kind of says a lot. Like, why would you want this job? Like, what the hell? Like, anybody with any sort of established anything, why in the hell would you want to come here? That's almost like a red flag in general to like go for it.
Let me say something about that. All right, so I get what you're saying. So let's just say 5, 6, 7 games in, they fire Aaron Glenn. Okay, most likely Frank Reich is going to be named interim head coach. Okay, and let's just say, you know, he doesn't win a lot, but let's say they stop playing for this guy. The team looks better under Frank Reich. Give this guy another chance. He might. I mean, I'm not saying he's the answer, but he might sign up to get that chance again. You know, if anybody can do it, like if somebody with experience, someone that's been a quarterback, a play caller. I mean, I'm not mad. I mean, I'm actually a little bit pumped up about Frank Reich coming in, only because I don't think they've had anybody with that much success, nor just experience at that position since. I mean, if you want to call Nate Hackett experience, I don't think so. But I mean, I don't know. Since when? Think about that, Ant. When was Adam Gase? I mean, he stunk. I mean, great on the first drives, but after that, he stunk. You know, I mean, I don't know, man. Tough. What do you have? What is that? 13? Was it 13 offensive coordinators in 15 years? Something like that? Is that the stat right now?
Probably. I mean, it sounds about right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Since Schottenheimer, it's basically been a revolving door at offensive coordinator.
I mean, Schotty was the last guy we had that was at least decent. You know, he had us running around doing things. He was there for a while too, right? Like 4 or 5 years.
He was there with Rex. They fired him after the AFC Championship game, or was it a couple years after? I forget how it went.
It's been a while. A hot minute.
I feel like you got a bad rap, but I thought he was solid, man. He won some games.
Yeah,
with Mark Sanchez. Yeah, he didn't develop Sanchez into something great, but I think Sanchez obviously
just didn't have it.
Because I mean he went to a couple places and he was decent, but
Eagles like
he had a good year with
good for a little bit.
Yeah, he had a good year over there with Chip Kelly because they were running that whatever you want to call it, that like
that was Chip Kelly, wasn't Andy Reid?
What happened?
That wasn't Andy Reid when he was there. Oh, it was Chip Kelly.
It was Chip Kelly.
Okay.
And that's where it was successful. They were running that quick, like 20 seconds, snap the ball, 20 seconds, snap the ball, which worked for a little while until even offensive players get gassed when you're running that quick, man. It's a tall ask. And that defense was on the field pretty quick too on a lot of drives.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it just screams that there's no plan in place right now. Everything about what's going on with this team right now is it's alarming. And I think there's an avenue here where this team could, bottom out this year to the point where 2 wins, 3 wins tops again, like it was this year.
And not have the first pick.
I don't know, man. I think they'll get the first pick this year. I think it's gonna be that bad. I don't. Again, I can't look at this roster and this season and say, hey, like they're gonna, win any games. It'd be kind of crazy though if Arizona ends up with the first pick and we'll be able to connect Arch Manning and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh wow, that would be insane.
That would be actually pretty crazy.
Especially that Manning played with his father.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Indy.
That would actually be, and those two probably played each other like when they were younger too. I mean, they're the same age roughly.
Yeah, you get 100%.
Probably friends. Yeah,
probably at least BFFs, bro. Brothers for life.
But yeah, I just don't know, man. It's wild. Defensive coordinator list is getting shorter and shorter. Supposedly, they interviewed a new candidate today Like just when you thought maybe they're on like the final stage of trying to figure out who the coordinator is going to be, they're
Are they
hiring a
trying to
brand new
bring in
name.
somebody like as a first time play caller and Aaron Glenn's going to run the defense? I'm hearing now. Did you hear that?
Supposedly, Connor Hughes put something out there today that Aaron Glenn wants basically hire somebody to be the head coach of the offense, and he'll be the defensive or calling the defensive plays potentially. Nothing's ironed out just yet, but supposedly that is a thought in the Jets building, which again goes to is there a plan? And maybe you can give him some credit for adjusting his plan because obviously he's not a CEO type. Defense was a mess, so you give him a little bit of credit there, I guess, for identifying a major flaw. But he also isn't. He's reacting a little too late to things. Is my concern too. Like this should have been something that he identified mid-season when defense was terrible, and taking over control. Even when Chris Harris took over, he still gave Chris Harris like full autonomy to like operate the defense and take control.
I just never understood. I mean, listen, his resume ain't the greatest neither, though. And is he even a good defensive play caller? He
was. What I'll say about when he was in Detroit is that Detroit invested heavily on the offense in a lot of areas. They did use second overall pick on Aiden Hutchinson, and then brought in Jack Campbell the following year. But otherwise, they really used a lot of their premium assets on the offense side of the ball. And that team was always riddled with injuries on the defensive side, and he was still able to kind of get the most out of it. They had a couple years where the defense was, not as great. But like I said, he was dealing with a lot in Detroit as far as the injuries were concerned for multiple years. But when you're a head coach, things change. Players do get injured as well, and it can't always just fall down to the only bodies left or just kind of a waste of space at this point. My biggest concern too, like with this whole Engstrand situation, like what's Garrett Wilson's thought process here with this whole situation? He already knows that he's probably not going to have a quarterback. At least not one worth a damn. He's on his what?
Fifth year, coming into his fifth.
He's on his fourth. He'll be on his fifth offensive coordinator in 5 years in the league. Like that's.
Dude, I mean, he's going to be at that point where he's going to be like, just trade me, please.
And that's the concern too. Like that's not what you want for the Jets, whatever. I mean, get a package for him for sure. Someone will send something over, but like then you're in a situation with the young rookie quarterback next year who doesn't have any weapons, and he'll have the offensive line, but it's just a revolving door. I'm just hoping Garrett Wilson just has like the patience for like one more year, and the Jets actually do this tank thing and do it the right way.
Larry Fitzgerald did it for years.
How
many years was he?
I don't think he did it for like 5 or 6 years. Like Garrett Wilson's being asked.
No. I don't mean like bad ball for 5-6 years. Well, hey, you know what? Calvin Johnson did it with Detroit. That was bad ball. That was pretty bad. But then he retired young too. He was like, shit, I don't want to play for this team anymore.
Yeah, he pulled a Barry Sanders for Detroit, which is crazy. Detroit had like one of the best running backs all time and one of the best wide receivers all time, both retiring very early into their careers.
That was weird.
The Barry one was weird because he was like top of his game when he retired.
Yeah, he was. It was not even a close second either. He was that good.
Yeah. But that's my concern. And I think Garrett Wilson seems like he's one for the long haul. But at some point, especially when you got the talent that he has, you just got to get tired of it, man. You just like.
Bro, waste of talent on the Jets, man. This kid could have been like – he's great. But imagine him with a friggin' legit quarterback. Oh, my God. We're talking about Jackson Smith and Jigba numbers. You know what I'm saying? Because he's that good. That's what he is.
I always had Jackson a little bit higher than Garrett Wilson, but –
very similar, though, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Similar players.
To an extent.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I just don't see a way of this offense being any way competitive. Like it's kind of reached a point for me too. Like you might as well let Breece Hall walk at this point. Like, what's the point in bringing him back?
Tank all
Use
the
that,
way.
use that $12 million and put it on the defense.
Draft the running back.
Draft the running back, sure. Yeah, but you're gonna draft the running back in like the 4th round or something like that.
And grab somebody better in the 2nd round. If you're gonna get rid of him, then you might as well. Otherwise, you're signing someone else. Maybe like a ETN.
Well, that's what I would do. Sign somebody else. It doesn't even have to be like there's no point. There's really no point in like allocating any sort of resources to this offense. Like,
you know what's going to happen, bro? We're going to look at the newspaper. Well, we're going to be watching some show or something like that, seeing what the Jets lineup looks like on opening day. It's going to be like those Cleveland Indians. Remember?
Major League.
Who the hell are these Major League? Yeah. Who the hell are these players? Like, if you think about it, all right, be honest. Like, all right, like who do you think, if you had to put a number, like a percentage, right, of this, like who do you think is starting for the New York Jets at quarterback? Yeah. If you had to put a number and gauge it, like with everything that's out there, is it going to be a veteran? Is it going to be a rookie? What do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be a veteran. I don't know. I think the name that keeps popping to head is Marcus Mariota. But I'm fine with that. I'm fine with just like put someone in there who's at least responsible, at least like
can you don't want Trubisky?
Huh?
You don't want the Mitch Trubisky?
No, I'm good with that. And why would you want to come here?
What about Carson Wentz?
You think he's been sitting on the sideline in Buffalo and he wants to go play against him? No.
What about Carson Wentz?
No. I'm good with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, we bring Mariota in. I'm cool with that. He can sling the ball.
Finally got Mariota.
Yeah, I know. You wanted him from back in the day. I remember that.
I mean, it's the only one that makes sense. Like, I gotta look at the list here, but actually, let's kind of segue here. We got Dom C joining up here. So for everybody who's been patiently waiting, appreciate it. We have a special guest joining the show here, live from Mobile, Alabama, at the Senior Bowl. NFL draft content creator for Jets X Factor and host of the Draft Dodgers podcast. Please welcome Dom C. Thank you, Dom.
Hey, guys.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. First off, I'm kind of in a big room here, so I apologize about the echo. Best I can do.
Fine, man. It's good.
Sounds fine, man. Everything sounds good. Awesome. How's everything going down there? How's the weather?
It's cold. It's cold. It's very unlike Mobile. This is, I think, my 4th consecutive Senior Bowl. And it's nice because coming in January, coming down to Alabama, you usually get 75 and sunny. Yeah, we just packed up and left as soon as possible after that second practice, which is 6 o'clock here, 7 o'clock your time, because it was just so dang cold, man.
Damn, man.
Yeah. But it was a good practice nonetheless.
Awesome.
Yeah. I saw your interview with Cole Payton. It was actually a pretty solid interview that you put out there.
I got a bunch of them. I'm sorry. I cut you off. I didn't hear you.
No, I say you put some solid content. I appreciate that.
Oh, I appreciate that. Hey, listen, man. If I can do my part for us Jets fans, we don't have a lot of good things to cheer about these days. So, I got a bunch of other interviews. I just haven't, posted them or edited them or uploaded them, so on and so forth. But Cole Payton was he was one of the guys I thought stood out today too. Mm-hmm. You liked, at least his film, that you really liked his ability to be a threat with his legs. I mean, he ran for over 700 yards this year, 7 touchdowns on the ground, but a physical style. He's 6'3", 230 pounds. I mean, he's a big boy. Yeah, and that arm strength is just legit. I think he had on record today had the longest air yards, on a pass, which is 55 yards in the air.
Wow.
And he dropped it, on a back shoulder on a dime. It was beautiful. Really impressive today. Again, when I say really impressive, it's the fact that, probably, he's from North Dakota State. So he's playing at a level, playing against a level of competition now, which he hadn't seen in college. Only a 1-year, 24-year-old kid, only a 1-year starter, 13 starts. So he's got an uphill battle. But what he did on the field today with his arm, he looked really good. It's a practice. There's not real hitting per se, no tackling or anything like that. No, definitely no hitting the quarterback. So you take it with a grain of salt. But he was on time. He was accurate. He threw with anticipation, threw with beautiful accuracy on his deep balls, and nothing more you can ask for from a kid on day one.
What is his projection like? What do you think he fit right in the draft? Like, is he around
he's gonna be a day 3 guy probably. Like I said, there's a lot of projection in his game. Only started 13 games throughout his whole career. 5th-year senior, finally saw the field this year and blew up, and good for him. But he's got some project. He's got project status probably under his label. He's a lefty too, and not to downgrade lefties or anything like that. I'm not trying to be judgmental, but a lot of offenses kind of have to flip around and work on the opposite. He's not. He won't be everyone's cup of tea, but I think he's got the skills he can play.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah. You got Dana in chat. I know you've been on his show before. He wants to hear about Bocher when you get a moment. How did you think he did today?
He was one of the guys that I really, for some reason, I park my butt on the same spot of the field, the same seat every time. I'm right on the 50, right on the back row, so nobody can sit behind me, comfortable, and I get a view of everything. And today, just randomly, the linebackers were doing their drills, their warm-up drills, their positional drills, literally right in front of me. So I got some eyes on the linebackers in the first practice, and they were pretty good. Bocher looked a lot faster than he does on film. I don't know how he's going to, when I watch him on film, some of the questions that I have is, I don't know if he's a 3-down linebacker. He might be kind of like pigeonholed to do that, early down stuff, run fit in, come down plays within the tackle box, real physical. He weighed out, size and weight came out really good. Everything looked positive that. And he looked a little bit, spry on his feet today. So there was him, and there was another couple linebackers. The kid Lewis, last name Lewis, out of Pittsburgh, and the kid from TCU also I thought was really, really good. They had some good linebackers in that first group. So Dano, your Oregon boy, probably, still is what he is. I think I have him, at 24 years old, he's probably a situational guy. He's a 4th-round player for me. But today looked good.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man.
Sticking with the quarterbacks here, when you jumped on, and actually, if you have any comments or if you want to say anything about with the news today with Tanner Engstrand, we were talking about that a little bit earlier today. Where do we go from here, man?
It's awful. The whole thing is that can I curse?
You go for it, man.
The whole thing is a shit show. The whole thing is a shit show. And it just like we can't get out of our own way. The Jets, it's still LOL Jets, and this time it's fully deserved. I don't think. I know that. I shouldn't say I know. That sounds. I'm assuming from what I understand, he didn't get fired. That he asked for his release and they granted him his release. And you can probably tell that by the way they worded it. They decided to part ways. This, that, the other thing. But there's no doubt in my mind that Tanner Engstrand is going to land on his feet. And there's no doubt in my mind that right now there's clearly no direction for what this team is or could be in the most inopportune time, nonetheless, because, we have 4 of the top 44 picks this year, 3 of the top 32 next year. We have an opportunity to really just, put ourselves in a position that, we can finally build, we can finally put pieces in place to have a team that can have some long-standing substance and continuity. except now that the coaches are want to stick around and do all this stuff. It's absolutely asinine, guys.
I mean,
It really is.
that whole thing with like what you just meant, like what you just brought up about like 2 years of picks. We're gonna have 8 picks in 2 rounds.
Mhm.
Okay, that's like fast forward to any type of rebuild, but with the right type of coach. So we're wasting year 1 of this, I think. I mean, that's what I'm thinking here. I mean, I just don't have no faith in Aaron Glenn. I love the player, but not the coach. You know?
I'm the same way. And I think that hits it right on the head. Like, I grew up an Aaron Glenn fan.
Yeah.
I was not an Aaron Glenn fan when he was hired. Was my first choice. I'll say that much.
Right.
I don't think he was my 3rd or 4th either, but I digress. And then everything that he's done has just contradicted what he said, and he changed his tune, and this, that, and the other thing. And then all the people who really, really despise Aaron Glenn and who were, really, really pushing for this tank, lose everything, go blah blah blah. They're kind of right. You see a lot of the stuff that's happening, and it's gonna, you're gonna see the offensive guys are gonna get scapegoated. You're gonna see this coach is gonna get scapegoated. The whole thing is it's just awful.
Yeah.
It's just awful. I wish we could just have some sort of normalcy in our fanhood at some point in our lives.
We ain't gonna see it for a couple of years, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either, man. I don't think so either.
The only thing we can hope for, and I mean, it sucks. Like I was talking the other day, like it's like this is probably the first year that I can like say in my Jets fandom that we're probably more or less rooting for a tank from day 1 of September. Like that's kind of the way the season's going to be, because there's no light at the end of the tunnel for this team.
Yeah, but like think about that. Like, can you really stomach? Like, I don't know if I can even.
I want to know.
Thinking about that, man. Like thinking about just wasting one more year of Garrett Wilson, one more year of Olu Fashanu, Armand Membo, of Joe Tippmann, of all the pieces. You're just wasting one more year. Are we one more year closer to now Garrett Wilson asking for a trade?
I mean, I can see with the situation going on right now and just the lack of any sort of direction. Him saying it now, I don't think he can because of his contract, possibly. But I mean, if I were him, I'd want every part of being out of this thing, because it looks like it's the dumpster's on fire. I mean, literally, that's literally what it looks like.
The dumpster's been on fire. Now they're just fanning it. You know what I mean? They're fanning the fire.
It's wild. I mean, I don't know if I've seen anything this crazy in my life with this team, but here we are.
Here we are.
Staring at the barrel of a gun. I know when we first spoke, you and I, a few weeks back, and part of the reason why we got you on the show was to talk about Dante Moore and get your reports on him. Well, we got the news he's out, but just want to get your thoughts here, because that was something I was very interested in hearing what you said. What was your views on Dante Moore coming out of the draft? Did you want him at number 2? I know we all kind of envisioned it was going to be the pick if he came out. Do you feel like the Jets are missing out, or you think they kind of dodge a bullet from themselves with him going back?
So long, guys. I think it's a double-edged sword, to be honest with you, Anthony. I had a first-round grade on Dante Moore. I think he was a super talented kid. I don't know, and I will say this: I understand why he went back to school, because his still needs some refinement in his game. And the NFL is not a place to, the NFL is not a developmental league. You guys are these players are expected to come in and be ready to, produce when their name is called, next man up, and go. And some of the things that Dante Moore needed work on was really just, stuff that he needed reps to get to do and see and to overcome or get better at. He wasn't going to get, you might get those reps in training camp, but that's not going to be enough. Once the season starts, the backups don't get any reps. You know what I mean? And if the case is correct that Dante Moore was going to be the pick and it was going to be a full redshirt year for him, then I don't know. I don't know what would have happened. I'll say this: I think that the Jets missed out on a really talented quarterback, or at least for this year. Who knows? Maybe they pick him next year. But I think that they missed out an opportunity of drafting a real talented quarterback. But on the same token, look what happened today, right?
Mhm.
We're going to draft a quarterback at number 2 overall who is not playable, or not game ready at the NFL, and bring him into this shitstorm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think both the Jets missed out and they dodged a bullet.
Yeah, and me and Dom had this argument so many. Dom, my brother, we've had this argument so many times. Like, yeah, the logical thing is to bench him and sit him down for an entire season, but damn well, number 2 overall pick with the Jets. Let's say they bring in a Mariota or Brissett or whoever they bring in. They're only going to hold on to the 4 for at most 5 games, and he's forced into the.
I don't know, man. At least from the grumblings of what I hear or what I heard from the people who have tangible evidence or tangible sources, he said the plan was to draft Dante Moore and give him a true redshirt year.
Wow.
Now, again, how long that would have been before the Jets fans blew up on that? You number 2 overall, you don't play him, blah blah blah. You're right. I don't know, man.
Mhm.
It's just an absolute mess.
Yeah,
I don't think we could have been any worse than we were this year. You guys, I don't know how old you guys are, but Dom, I'm sure you're old enough to remember Kotite. Yeah. I mean, Kotite was bad, and that team was bad as well.
Right.
But at least they were quasi-competitive. There's most of the time this year, even though we won 3 games, I don't think we were very competitive. Even in the games that we won, I don't think we were very competitive. I think, you can argue that some of the games we won were fluky. There's 4 games in the history of the NFL where the winning team won by 7 points or more and scored 2 special teams touchdowns. The Jets almost did that twice this year.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's Cleveland.
Yeah. The returning
Atlanta. So you can't tell me that it's a fluke. So I don't think that I in my 40 some odd years on earth that I've experienced a season worse than this, a team worse than this. And we're still not bad. We're still in a position where we can't get the number 1 pick. And we're still not high enough. We're this bad in a 1 quarterback draft.
Dude, we've been horrible for the last for a long time, but 15 years, right? Haven't made the playoffs. I think we've cracked 7 wins in 3 of the 15 years or something like that.
Well, we had one year of more than 7 wins. Was the Ryan Fitzpatrick year?
Yeah, that was in 2015, right?
That's the closest we've been to sniffing the playoffs in this entire.
Yeah. And that 1 first pick overall. That's just something to think about. And then this year we got screwed by the, what do they want to call it? The strength of schedule gods. And still not the first round. Come on. It's like, bro, we're just cursed, man. I don't know, man. Name it.
That'll forever be a problem for the Jets, the strength of schedule, because we have the Bills and Patriots in our division.
Yeah.
That'll forever be a problem. And Dolphins will stick around, low 500, somewhere in that range where it's just enough to kind of we're never going to touch. The Raiders lucked out with the Chiefs being terrible this season.
Yeah.
Chiefs being terrible really helped in that strength of schedule. Although they did have Denver and the Chargers both made the playoffs.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to forever be a problem with the Jets. If they're going to get the first overall pick or something like that, wherever to happen, it would have to be outright. That's just the way it's going to have to be.
Hey Dom, how's Nussmeier looking out there?
I was excited to see him. I'm excited to see him healthy. He was, coming into the 2025, so coming into this season, he was right up there at the top of everyone's, quarterback rankings and well-deserved. I think in 2024, he was, phenomenal. 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Everything kind of crumbled in LSU this year. And then he battled 2 separate injuries. One in which really hampered, one was a core injury, a oblique or something like that, which really hindered him being able to, torque and throw the ball. So I'm happy that he's healthy. I'm happy to see him today. Of all the quarterbacks, I'm not going to say he was bad. They didn't really do much, but he didn't have any throws that really wowed or stood out to me, kind of like some of the other quarterbacks did. Diego Pavia connected with a really nice deep corner route for a touchdown. Obviously, we talked about Cole Payton. Luke Altmaier, the quarterback from Illinois, I thought was really good for another guy who's probably a day 3 project. I thought take away his his weird mechanics. I thought he throws a really catchable ball. He made a couple really nice throws. So it was good just to see Nussmeier out there. Like I said, nothing. It's really hard for the quarterbacks to truly stand out per se. They don't have the chance to make any flashy throws. He didn't do anything flashy. He also wasn't awful. So that's all you hope for. But it's funny that Jets fans are talking about him a lot more because I really think he's going to be in the equation.
I think so too
for the Jets in round 2. I really do. I should say he'll be one of the quarterback names that are in the equation for the Jets with this 2026 draft.
You think that's where he goes more or less is in round 2, or you think he plays himself with a strong combine into the back of first round? And is there opportunity for him to? I don't think he passes Simpson, but do you see any of that even kind of remotely being possible?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if I had to listen, he's got a day 3 grade on me based off of his film this year. I think that was kind of generous. I think I took a lot of the 2024 film into account with it as well. He made a lot of bad decisions this year. Now I know a lot of them were not his fault in the sense that he just wasn't playing at 100%, like not even close to 100%.
Yeah.
But his 2024 film showed some stuff that you hope that he got better on. Like he gets big eyes, pressure, especially when he's forced out of the pocket or forced to break contain, he gets wild and he tries to, the accuracy, falls off a cliff and he tries to play hero ball and fit things into these small things or just, throw somebody open deep. You still saw a lot of that stuff. So that's, to me, that was a concern. I don't know if he slips into the back half of round 1. So I don't think that he'll be, he'll pass Simpson. Because I think Simpson will be in the back end of round 1.
So too.
Yeah. So I think round 2 is pretty safe for Garrett Nussmeier. The pedigree, the intellect, the QB IQ is there. Like his dad's a coach in the league. He's got a good arm. I'm not going to say it's elite, but he can make all the throws. He's mobile. He's mobile enough, like more functionally athletic. So, you want to make sure that he can stay healthy. Now, remember, he's also a 24-year-old kid too. So, those guys don't tend to go in the first round all that much. So.
Could be the Tyler Shook of 2024.
Maybe. Absolutely. And listen, here's the thing with Nussmeier. I don't know if he's ever going to be a high-end quarterback in the NFL. I could be completely wrong. I could be completely proven wrong. He might play his ass off and be the best starter that we've seen since Chad. If he's a Jet. Right. But more so, I don't think you're drafting Garrett Nussmeier assuming he's the solution. Right. Drafting him doesn't preclude you from taking another, dipping your toes into the pond next year in round 1. So what's the worst case scenario? You got 2 good young quarterbacks?
Not a problem with that, man.
Yeah. I mean, what's the problem with that?
What was it? Montana, Steve Young, and I forgot they also had Bono on that team.
Yeah, exactly.
3 number 1s.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the biggest thing I would say about this draft. Like, I mean, if Ty Simpson's there in round 2, then yeah, obviously like all bets are off. But I don't want the Jets to put themselves in a situation where, like, the biggest thing I could see is this coaching staff and this regime getting desperate at pick 16 and making Ty Simpson the pick. I feel like that's a little crazy, a little foolish, and I mean, that's more of a looking out for your job than looking out for the betterment of the organization. But obviously we all understand the nature of what's going on over there at this point in time. But the biggest factor of this whole thing is like next year's class looks a lot better than this year's class from a quarterback standpoint, and just don't want to put yourselves in a situation where, we can go back to Christian Hackenberg. We picked him, and that took us out of the running for drafting a guy like Mahomes and Deshaun Watson at the time, which was so crazy. A second-round pick should never do that for you, but that's the last thing I want this team to do is like get themselves in a situation where they're married to a quarterback because they picked them early in this year's draft.
Yeah, but I don't think, like I said, I don't think the second round precludes you from doing that. I mean, it did for Maccagnan because I don't think he wanted to embarrass himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because he took, that Christian Hackenberg pick, boy. Oh, Nelly.
That was
scary.
That was rough. Yeah,
it was. Everyone has that the vibes with Allard out of Penn State. They're like, what do you think of him? I mean, what's his like? I liked him last year, and then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, he just fell apart in 2024.
Well, I mean, he got hurt. Also, he's another guy who couldn't, didn't stay on the field. I memean, he had an injury that caused him to, caused him to miss the rest of the season with surgery, so on and so forth. So, Allard is the prototypical Northeast, like AFC East or NFC East quarterback. Yeah, big, burly,
Allen, man.
6 foot, 6'5", 240 pounds. Big hands. Doesn't he's from the Northeast. He's from Northeast Pennsylvania, so he doesn't. He's not afraid of the cold. Probably played in the cold all his life, so he's a guy that could live through a winter at MetLife Stadium and probably play in short sleeves if he wanted to. Great size. Physical attributes check. Big arm check. He makes. He's timely with his with his decisions. He maneuvers around the pocket well enough. Like I said, another one of those really functional athletes. Not gonna burn you, with his speed. But if you need him, in a big spot to get 3 yards on a third down, he can, if everyone's covered, he can scramble and kind of do it for you. Listen, he's a big guy, 240 pounds. I think last year, meaning 2024, his last full season, he had 21 broken tackles, which is pretty cool. Awesome. The problem is, I said he's not afraid. He's not late. He's always on time. He makes decisions. The problem is the decisions that he makes, right? I mean, a guy who, I think the best way to describe Drew Allard in a nutshell, and I'm going back to his 24 film. 25 was kind of a wash. Although it didn't get much better. It was very short. Is that he looks like Tarzan and plays like Jane, and when you talk about a check down Charlie, there's a guy that big and that strong shouldn't be allowed to just take, the little dump off route at 3 yards, so on and so forth. He's got to press the ball. He's got to push the ball. He's got to be trust himself a little bit. That's what he's saying. I don't think he played with a lot of confidence. Now, some of that could have been James Franklin, the coach at Penn State when he was there. Not the best, not even remotely close to a quarterback whisperer, but bad offense. He didn't have many good skill or weapons. Outside of Tyler Warren in his era, what he did is just feed Warren, and Warren was the best tight end in the nation. So, he also, I think, doesn't lack. I mean, it doesn't have. He definitely lacks the clutch gene. In the biggest moments, he seems to kind of, crumble the hardest. So that's the thing with Allard. If somebody gets him and can kind of change the mental part in him, because the physical's all there. If someone can change the mental part and really adjust his way he thinks about the quarterback position and playing it, I think you're going to have a good player in your hand. I got an early round 4 grade on him. He's my 5th quarterback in the class right now. After all these kids went back, he's my 5th quarterback in the class, and I think he'll be a top 100 pick. Right around there, 100 to 110.
I mean, I've always liked him and all that, but I think you're right with a lot what you're saying with Penn State. I mean, when he clutch time, he faltered. That I've seen that. But here's my other question. Like, for instance, all right, I mean, there are a lot of rumblings saying that possibly a Frank Reich comes to the New York Jets.
I hope not. Don't tell me that.
I know. But what about his quarterback skill? Like, can he coach up a young kid like that? Let's say they bring him in.
I don't know. It's a fair question. I have no idea. You know why? Because he's been out of the league for how long?
5 years.
He was the head coach at Stanford last year. Did a favor for Andrew Luck, who was the GM over there at Stanford University. I don't know what he can do. His offense is his claim to fame is that Super Bowl he got as the OC in Philadelphia, but he didn't even call the plays there.
Yeah,
He didn't even call the plays. So I don't know. Like I'm just personally, I'm not even acknowledging Frank Reich as an option to run our offense because it's just it's just another LOL Jets moment.
No, I think that's exactly what it and it seems like the writing's on the wall for that. I mean, the news breaks on it that he's highly that they're
the same thing. They said the same thing for Wink. The writing's on the wall that it's going to happen, and then Wink again. Little birdie, little rumor I heard is that a lot of the grumblings came down to a combination of Wink wanting either more time on the contract or more money, which Woody wasn't willing to give, or wanted more autonomy in defense. Because now I suppose Glenn is looking to be more hands-on and call the defense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense bringing in Wink if that's your plan.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Like if you bring in a guy like Wink, you kind of just let him go to town. Do your thing.
It's crazy. I know we're kind of like rumbling through the quarterbacks here. Just one more question on quarterbacks. I saw something you put out there the other day. Trinidad Chambliss. Most likely he goes back. He's got to go into court, especially in the state of Mississippi.
Yeah.
But if he were to lose that case and he would go into the draft, you had mentioned that he wouldn't be subject to the NFL draft. He would be subject to the supplemental draft. Is that how it works?
Listen, I don't know how, what kind of stipulation the fact that he's that this lawsuit, this injunction that's going on. I have no idea what that plays into it, but he would not be eligible for the draft because all players that had to declare who were not in the championship game. Well, actually now they're in the even the guys that were in the championship game, Indiana, Miami.
Yeah,
they had to declare. There's deadlines for guys that have to declare. It's one date. It's date X for guys that are not in teams are already done playing. It's date Y if your team were in the college playoffs, and it's date Z if your team were in the championship. So his deadline, date Y, came and passed, and he didn't declare. So if he's not granted this injunction in his 6th year of college, he can enter the draft, but it will be through the supplemental draft, which happens, I believe, in May. In Jets, folklore, we delved into the supplemental draft one year and gave up a 3rd-round pick for one Rob Moore out of Syracuse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that'd be an interesting one too, because the way the supplemental draft works is like you pay a draft pick, and that draft pick gets kicked to next year. So let's say you give a third round pick this year in the supplemental draft. Then that 3rd round pick.
Yeah, the 2026 supplemental draft will go against your 2027 draft cap.
Yeah, which means you basically get a player on next year's draft capital, which is
correct.
Which would be an interesting way of going about it. Very Jetsian way of getting a quarterback. But that'd be interesting. But it sounds like from most accounts that because he went through the court of Mississippi, that he'll probably get that 6th year.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I knew more about really what the hang up is, or what his reasoning. I don't know why he wants to go back. I mean, I got to be honest with you. Like, first off, he's he played college for 5 years. He transferred from Division II Ferris State where he dominated, transferred up. Became the starter by luck this year because the original starter got hurt. He took the job over and never gave it back. This is the year that I think he's got a pretty good chance right here, right now, of pushing for quarterback 2. I don't know if he's not quarterback 2 for me in this class, but I think that there would be some that would be intrigued with his dual threat ability, because he is a true weapon with his legs. So if I'm him at 24 years old, already played 5 years of college, I'm rolling the dice that I'm going to end up in the back end of first round.
Mhm.
Fail.
Tom,
And
who
I
are
think
your
that would
top
probably be the
five
upside
quarterbacks?
for him too. What was
I
that?
like
Top 5 quarterbacks.
My 5?
Yeah.
Mendoza's 1. Simpson is 2. Garrett Nussmeier is 3. Trinidad Chandler's 4. And Drew Allar is 5.
Oh, okay, cool. That's a good
those
five.
are. I mean, and my board did not look like that before all these college quarterbacks went back.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I had Nussmeier, who's my 3 now, was my 7. Simpson was my 4. So that's just
I got you.
that's how it goes.
The way it falls, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Well, we touched a lot on the quarterbacks. Let's jump into, I guess, some of the options that Jets have, especially at pick number 2.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, some big names. A lot of them getting poked at the Jets. Big ones being Reuben Bain, David Bailey, and then Arbel Reese being the third big option there. Give us your thoughts on these 3 players, and if you were the Jets at 2, who would be your pick?
Yeah.
As we stand today, there's lots to come.
So Arbel Reese is my highest rated of the 3. He graded out the highest of the 3. And let me say this about all 3 of these guys. They are all very good players, but they are all also, none of them are perfect players.
Mm-hmm.
They each have a fault or an Achilles heel, if you will, that needs to kind of, you're quintessentially rolling the dice on. So, Arbel Reese by far is definitely the most unique. He's the unicorn of the bunch at 6'4", 245, 250 pounds. He can do a little bit of everything. He's as athletic as they come. He's got a long frame. He's bricked up. Like, he is a true muscle hamster, and probably the best run defender of all 3 of them, probably hands down. The burst, the athleticism, the closing speed, all that stuff is phenomenal. Obviously, he did a lot playing off-ball linebacker, before Ohio State kind of gave him a little bit more roaming options. So he turned into like what Micah Parsons' role was for Dallas, where, he might play some linebacker, might line up some linebacker, do some blitzing, line up on the edge, standing up, line up over the center, standing up, just use his, sheer brute strength and athleticism to win at the college level. He doesn't have many snaps as a true edge, 131 total. And of those 131 snaps, he got 27 pressures and 8 sacks. So he does a good job when he's there. Again, his ceiling is maybe, one of the top 5 defenders in all of football in 5 years, but that's a big projection you're making because he just hasn't done a lot. Right. And then you go to Reuben Bain, who I think would be my pick if I'm picking for the Jets at 2, would be Reuben Bain. Just because I think he's a perfect blend of high floor and high ceiling. He has, at 275 pounds, they don't move like him. I think the power, the power rush is legit. The long arm that he can just, drive, if he gets into your chest as an offensive lineman, he's driving you backwards. There's no doubt about it. I love how he's kind of built like he's built like a fire hydrant, so you can't really win the leverage battle against him. He's always going to do that. And he's just so damn physical and so damn punishing. Now, people are going to question if he can really stay at edge at the next level because he's got shorter arm, 31 and a half inches, which is not ideal, but I don't think it matters. Like I said, his timing is so good, and his reaction is so good with his hands that he doesn't let offensive linemen get into his chest. And at worst, in passing downs, you want to move him inside, similar to what the Jets did with JFM when he was on the team. Early downs, he stood outside and played the run, and passing downs, he rushed next to Quinnen from the inside. So you want to do that and rush, him next to Juwan Briggs from the inside, with Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson on the outside, have at it. That works. You know what I mean? And I think with Jermaine Johnson playing on his 5th-year option, really having a down year last year, coming off that Achilles, I understand. But it just looked like it looked like something was missing last year. That he definitely lost a step from that injury. And then you have Will McDonald, who's coming into his 3rd year, his 4th year. I forget what it is. I think it's his 4th year.
Yeah, going into his 4th.
Yeah, so they're going to have to make a decision on his 5th year soon. So you might be looking at replacing 2 edges, and I think Ruben Bain gives you the best opportunity of being sure you're replacing one with a good player, And David Bailey, who you talked about, a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter than Ruben Bain, a lot lighter than Ruben Bain, probably a little smaller than Arvell Reese, definitely not as physical as Arvell Reese, but man, he is a guy that's a true pass rusher. Like he's a guy that will affect the game in the backfield more than any of the other 3. He just, if you're looking to get home and cause turnovers and cause chaos and sack the quarterback, David Bailey's your guy. My problem with David Bailey is like I said, I don't know how strong he is at the point of attack. There's too many instances of him being driven off the ball. He does a good job disrupting the run, by shooting gaps on and so forth. He does not do a good job standing up, stacking and shedding blockers and really setting that edge. So to me, he smells like he could be a little bit more Will McDonald than I'd like.
Yeah, I think that's probably the where you go against Bailey. I mean, obviously, if you don't have intentions of Will McDonald being in your future, then that kind of negates that. But the thing I like about Ruben Bain too, I feel like he's perfect for that. And we're still off. We don't know who the defense coordinator is going to be, but I had to assume if it was going to be Wink, you're probably going to a 3-4, and I thought he would have been perfect in that 3-4 alignment next to Juwan Briggs as being probably your primary nose tackle. I thought he would have been perfect in that kind of role. And let's be real, Will McDonald standing up, playing outside linebacker as a pass rusher is probably perfect for him too. But we'll see how things kind of shake out with the defensive coordinator search.
Yeah, agreed.
So those are the 3 main people I kind of see as primary options for number 2. Is there anybody you see like the Jets getting a little crazy and sneaking into that spot?
I honestly I don't. I think that you want to blend a positional value with a position of need, and I think that is edge rusher. I think you can make an argument like Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Love I have rated graded out ahead of any of them, Reese, Bain, or Bailey. I'm not taking a safety or a running back at number 2. I don't think the running back's even up for debate because a running back, especially one that you draft in the first round, is a finishing piece, and the Jets are far from a finished product. But the safety, I think Caleb Downs is an extremely talented player. Like I said, he's the number 1 player in the class for me. I just think that taking a safety at 2 does not work. So I would say I would be willing to bet my mortgage that it's probably going to be an edge rusher. Which one, I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be an edge rusher.
I agree. I'm more on the Bain train too, man. It's just something about the Miami Hurricanes, man. Their defensive players, man. I mean, they put out studs, man, all the time. And this is probably one of the highest rated studs we'll see in a long time.
So their defensive line coach did a wonderful job with them this year. You know who their defensive line coach is?
Jason Taylor.
That's right.
Oh, that's right, Miami.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job with those guys. Even the guy who plays opposite him, Akeem Mesidor, who's a West Virginia transfer, kind of lost his way after an injury. I mean, he was awesome too. I agree that Miami's defense was legit. I just think for me, I think Bain is the pick because, as I said, it's a perfect blend of there's still a really, really good reachable high ceiling, and the floor is still probably not as low as it is with the other 2.
Gotcha.
And there's something too with Bain. It's got to be said about playing your best when the lights are shining brightest. He was an animal in those.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He was a freak.
Yeah.
Another thing too that's thrown out there in the Jet fan world is trading out of the pick. I, for one, don't see the player to trade up for because you got, as you mentioned, 3 different edge rushers. You got your flavor that you want. But do you see a situation where maybe a team does trade up, and how far you think the Jets are really willing to trade back?
Are you talking about them up to number 2?
Trading out of number 2, yeah. Well, Jets trading out, someone trading up to number 2.
I do not see a situation where they'll trade out of 2. I'm sure they would like to. I just don't see the situation where they will be able to.
Yeah.
I think that's probably. I think you hit it on the head. There's just no one there right now. Maybe one of these guys comes in during the combine and blows it up, and does some absolute crazy, ridiculous testing or something like that. I don't know. I doubt it, but I mean, I guess you can never say never.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, moving down the draft board here. Pick 16. I think this is, we mentioned earlier, a potential desperation pick of Ty Simpson could be here. Any of those 3 wide receivers would be an absolute treat at this point. But where do you, Sonny Styles would be a good option here. But who's maybe someone that we're not talking about that's not just out there that you see as potentially, slam dunk pick here for the Jets at 16?
Oh, I don't know if there's a slam dunk. that's for sure. I don't know if it's slam dunk. I'll give you some names of guys that I like that I think would be could be usable for that matter or make some sense. And I know a lot of Jets fans, and sorry for all the people watching this now live or will watch it later. I'm sure they're going to get in the comments and get at me, but there's some guys that that for me would make sense. It probably starts with Vega Ione, who's the Penn State guard at 6'4", 334 pounds. He's the kind of guard that we don't have. And I love Joe Tippmann. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Joe Tippmann advocate, and I love that they play him at guard. I think that's where his natural position, where he should have been the whole time. But even he is not a player like Ione is. Ione's a shit kicker, man. He will go through you. He's had a true power profile, something that can really help develop or establish the run game, especially if you put him at left guard paired next to Olu, who, let's call it what it is. I love Olu also, but he's not the people mover that you kind of come to expect of some of these offensive linemen. He's much more finesse, and he's obviously much more integrated and advanced in his pass sets than he is playing the run. Ione, I think, would be the perfect balance to that. So he's a guy, and yes, that would entail another offensive lineman in the first round. Sorry, Jets fans.
Yeah, Jet fans are gonna love that. 3 straight years.
They're gonna love that, but that's that's the situation. That's the case. Now, I think that there's a couple other wide receivers. If the big 3 are gone, which I fully expect them to be by the time we're picking at 16, there's a couple other names that I happen to really like. Omar Cooper out of Indiana is one. I think he's a little smaller. He'll probably measure in just a hair under 6'1", but he's 205 pounds. He's a true yak weapon. You put the ball in his hands and he's going to make things happen. He's kind of built like a running back, and he plays like that. With the ball in his hands, not afraid of contact, but he's got that receiver long speed, which is really, really nice. Real smooth route runner as well. Comes up, it has the clutch gene. I think anybody that played with Fernando Mendoza, I think that was a requirement, that you had to not be afraid to come up big when your team really needs you. I think that 16 is not too high for him. I think other people might think differently. Casey Concepcion, wide receiver out of Texas A&M, is another one. Now, it's not my personal favorite. I think he has a little, drops the ball, puts the ball on the ground too much, but there's no denying his speed or athleticism. He's a slot only. He'll be a slot only guy at the next level, but a good one at that. So between the guard and those 2 wide receivers, I think they're worthy of the pick. I think that there's some guys in the defense that are worthy. One of my favorite players in the entire class, Caleb Banks, defensive tackle, 6'6", 335 pounds out of Florida. Missed most of the season coming back from an injury, but his 2024 tape was dominant. He was a top 5 player coming into this draft if he didn't get hurt, and he's a big body, and he can not only like take up space and two gap as you want your nose tackle too, but he's got some wiggle. He can really dominant first step, especially for a guy who's almost 340 pounds.
That's insane. Like a machine.
Yeah, it's
So you have Caleb Banks rated higher than Cade McDonald? Is that your?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah,
So
I'm not a huge fan of Cade McDonald. He's my 5th ranked tackle. He didn't grade out that high. Peter Woods graded out the highest for me. Caleb Banks is like percentage points below Peter Woods. I think Caleb Banks is worthy of a top 16. Worthy of the 16 pick. Absolutely.
Okay. That's what I would do if I were the Jets. Defense, man. Get this defense rolling. 2027, let's get the offense rolling.
Yeah, I think that's really like. I think that probably is the most. I mean, unless he's unless one of his receivers falls to 16, which as you were saying, Don, I don't see it happening. It'd be awesome if Mekhi Lemon was there, but he's probably. I mean, it seems like he's trending pretty high. Like as far as what you're reading, like it seems like he's more and more trending to potentially be like the first one taken. As guys, I think still Carnell Tate gets a little bit of edge for me, but I don't know. It just seems like around this time every year, there's just that receiver that just starts trending up and up and up and up and up. It seems like it's him.
I'll tell you this much. Similar to the 3 edges, you can make an argument for either one being the first wide receiver off the board, and I wouldn't question it whatsoever because they all have their strengths, and just like the edges, they all have their Achilles heel.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. And then I think honestly, I think 16. You kind of hit that sweet spot in the draft, I guess, where like you kind of like you're at the tail end of those. Like I wouldn't say they're all premier at that point, but if there's a player left, like that almost seems like more likely than number 2, obviously, for a potential trade back situation, and that's not something I see the Jets doing. They have all these top premium picks, but they're missing that middle of the draft, like 3rd round areas, and they do have a lot of picks in the 5th, 6th round that they can package and move stuff up for. But it seems like 16 would be potentially a good spot if there's no one you fall in love with. Potentially trade out and get some additional assets. Maybe someone kicks back a 1st round pick like the Rams did last year Falcons did last year with the Rams. That would be beautiful, but I doubt that.
That would be beautiful. I won't bank on that happening, but that would be beautiful. Yeah, I will say though, and it's a fair point. I said this the whole time, not just saying it now. I fully expect the Jets not to use all 4 of the picks this year. I fully expect at some point they're going to trade back and try to accumulate something to bridge that gap between 44 and 104. Mm-hmm. Add a 3rd round pick. My guess it's probably going to be at 33. Because that's the 2nd most valuable pick in the draft. Is number 1's the most valuable. The 2nd one is number 33 because it's day 2 and teams can kind of regroup and see who's on the board, who slips through. That's where you'll get the best value for. So if I had to guess, right now on January, whatever today's date is, I would guess that the Giants, oh my God, the Jets trade back from 33, and add a 3rd. Maybe they do it get a late 2nd and a late 3rd and something like that.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't oppose. I would be happy with that.
Oh yeah, so would I. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what the Jets need the most of. I mean, it'd be nice to get all these premium assets and hit on them all, but they need so many more bites at the apple, man. They just need as many players as they can. They're building. They can use multiple safeties. They can use multiple defensive linemen, multiple linebackers. Like they literally need everything. And obviously, still have free agency coming too. But if you're a free agent and you're one of those top tier free agents,
you're a free agent right now. Looking at this team, are you coming here?
No, that's the concern.
Be honest.
No.
Hell no.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jets would have to pay a Jets tax plus some to get free agents to come here. That's how bad it looks right now for this team. And I guess we'll go in the second round here. And I don't know how much longer you have, but I know you're busy out there. And
Yeah, I got another show. I got another show that I'm doing. What time is it over there? It's
It is
8:45.
8:45.
Yeah, so I could probably got about another 5 minutes or so.
Okay, you're good. So then just wrap up with this, I guess, here. So second round, top of the second round, we have the 33rd pick. Who's the player that you're hoping shakes out of the first round that makes its way to us at 33? And
I'll give you two names. I'll give you two names because I don't think this will happen. I mean, we would be very lucky if it did. Either CJ Allen or Anthony Hill, both linebackers. CJ Allen from Georgia is a little bit smaller in size, but he's a true. I think they both have the ability to play Mike. If you wanted to move on from Sherwood next year, you can't do it this year, but after next year, I think they both have the ability to play Mike. And at worst, they can both fill in the Quincy role, where I think they're both phenomenal run defenders coming down, crashing, and playing in the box, but also as part of the blitzing as well. I would be elated with either of those two guys at 33. CJ Allen, especially, is probably going to be a late 20s guy. Like, I fear that he's ends up with Buffalo Bill and is their Matt Milano replacement. That would be really, really heartbreaking. Or
even worse, the Patriots.
Or even worse, the Patriots. But Anthony Hill's a little bit bigger. He's got a little bit more traditional size as a linebacker. I think he's probably the better downhill run defender, where CJ Allen's a better sideline to sideline run defender. Does better scraping and getting in space and can beat the blockers that way, so on and so forth.
I appreciate it. Dom, appreciate you jumping on. I know you've been extremely busy out there, and happy you got there safely, especially with the storm and everything that was going on there. Just before you go, just let us know where people can find you. I did give you an introduction, but let's give some parting words.
Listen, I'm usually all over the place. If you're interested in the Senior Bowl, the draft in particular, make sure you're following me on Twitter at DC_NY Jets. I'm trying to, keep the Jets fans up to date on what's going on, like real time. All my content is usually put out through Twitter as well, or with on Jets X Factor. Go subscribe. It's a great publication, Jets X Factor. If you don't know, Robbie Sabo, Joe Blewett, Mike Nania, and the boys, they all do a really, really good job. And I'm happy to be part of that team as well.
All right. Well, Dom,
it's been a pleasure, man. I love the shit you do, man. You're off the chart.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate having me on, man. And thanks for the offer.
Awesome.
All right, we'll have you on again as we get closer to the draft. Good time.
Sounds good. No problem, man.
All right, take care. Have a good time in mobile.
Yeah, we'll do.
That was cool. He's a good guy, man.
Yeah, definitely a cool guy. Well, now that we had Dom C on the show and draft experts, want to do a mock draft?
Sure. Let's do one, but I want to do something too. Let's go first. We're going to do the first pick, and then I want to give you a scenario for the second one.
All right, let me get this.
But you can't go fast, okay?
Can't go fast?
No. Because I want to use our second pick, package it with number 44, and move up.
All right.
And then trade our 33 to get another second round and possibly a third rounder. Still have our 4 picks.
All right. Well, hopefully it goes somewhat fast after the.
Yeah. Well, after that first pick, then we're good.
Yeah, but I don't know if it lets me. Maybe it lets me adjust it because if we go slow speed through, and I'm only doing 4 rounds. But yeah. All right. So let me share my screen here. Share screen.
All right. Can we agree if the first pick is not Fernando Mendoza, we restart it?
It will be. I mean, it should be. There's toggles in here where you tell it to emphasize positional value.
Right.
And ever since I've done that, I haven't seen Fernando Mendoza not go 1 overall. But this will probably be our lucky day. All right, let's see what happens.
All right. On the clock.
And number 1, Fernando Mendoza. All right.
All right.
So
I mean, listen, I'm all on. I'm all on the Ruben Bain train. I really
Mhm.
want this kid. The other one would be Arvel Reese. Those are the only two I want in this position here. There's no one else.
I'll go with Bain. I think it makes a lot of sense, especially we don't know what they're doing yet. And I do have the ability to change it up as we go through. Okay. So we'll go Ruben Bain.
Yeah,
Let's see if there's a pause button somewhere over here. So that, like,
because I want to be able to come back possibly at pick 10 or pick 11.
is there a pause button?
A pause.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's a pause. So like if there's a spot where you're like, oh shit, let's go. All right. We'll have to just cross our fingers.
All right.
Where do you want to stop?
Let's see who got.
Okay.
Oh, well, there was my guy I wanted, Caleb Towns. I
Okay,
wanted
he's
to put
gone.
up in the top 10. But we can still do this trade. Let's go like right around number 10.
10?
Yeah,
Who are you targeting?
a receiver now.
Ooh, I think
Geez.
they're all gone.
Forget it. I don't even want any receiver now. I don't want Jordan Tyson, so forget about that.
Well, I think
All
he's
right,
already got
forget
picked,
about it.
right?
Let's
I
just
think
play
he
it
was
out.
the first one picked.
Huh?
I think Tyson was the first receiver picked.
Was he?
Yeah, by Tennessee.
Holy crap, they all went. Jeez. All right, whatever. I guess no trade up.
All right.
I was
We'll-
thinking of like coming up for Sonny, for what's his name? The
So
guy,
you wanted Caleb Banks. So
Caleb Downs.
Caleb Downs, I meant. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
meant.
that was my first guy. I was thinking maybe like around the 10 mark, you trade your 16 and like the 44 to move up, and then you trade down 33 and grab some assets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It like
Damn, man, like he ain't gonna go number 3.
I can't see it, but
You don't even need a fucking safety. Their needs are not even there. You know what I'm
they
saying?
need
I don't get it. They're retarded.
anyway, so it didn't work out in our favor. So we got Ruben Bain, second overall.
Right.
Here we are at pick 16.
I mean, hey, listen. I mean, there's a couple of things we could do here. I mean, geez. I mean, if you really want to get, let me see. Linebackers. Is Sonny Styles still there?
No, he got picked like 10, I think it was.
Oh, geez.
11, 10, yeah.
All right. All right. So forget about that. So this is best available.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, Dom was talking about Caleb Banks here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see who else is on the board. These are all best available right here.
Denzel Boston, Cade McDonald,
There's that guy he was talking about.
Ione. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's Kenyon Sadiq. No, we gotta do that again. I'm thinking let's just do
In honor of Dom.
yeah, let's do it. I don't hate it. I mean, listen, it's two needs they have, both on defensive line.
Mhm.
Even hold on, before you pick that, who's on linebackers? Anybody linebackers out there?
It's gonna be like that wave of like CJ Allen, Anthony Hill.
Oh, okay. So
The names he was just naming, but these guys are like Anthony Hill. Like a lot of these mock drafts I've been doing, he finds himself in the second round, so he'll probably be there.
I've seen a lot of mock drafts that come up at 16. Peter Woods a lot, but he's gone already. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do yeah, he went earlier too.
9 to the Chiefs.
Which I would have probably taken the receiver there, but
Like the Chiefs,
yeah,
there's no receiver left.
they were gone.
They all went before that. Carnell Tate, you had a run. You had Tyson went 4, and then Lemon and Tate went 7 and 8.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, let's take let's do it. Caleb Banks, boom.
All right, draft, and let me speed this thing up a little bit because
There you go. That's good like that.
all right.
Boom, take him.
Dude, I gotta send this to Dom.
All right.
Dom Seek. It's literally falling exactly the way he wanted.
I know. There you go. Take him. Done. See if there's any trade offers for 44 before you move.
There will be.
All right, see what we got.
So Panthers want us to move to 51 for 44.
I want a third rounder. Take their 103 and offer them like a 157.
Right here.
Oh, we got it?
We'll send him 44 on 103.
Right.
We'll get 51, 83, and 119. 56% chance of getting accepted.
All right.
Done.
Let's go.
Oof.
I mean, hey, listen, how's that safety?
That's where I was going to go. We already got the linebacker. We already got the edge. We already got the defensive tackle.
Boom, safety.
Build
Brand
a
new
defense.
starters, bro. We got 4 new starters on defense. This is going to be our 3rd rounder, right? Coming up?
Think so. 83. Yeah, 3rd rounder.
Let's look at quarterbacks.
That's a name I like, but we'll see what quarterbacks look like. Ooh, nope. No.
You don't like any of these guys? How is Klubnik? Sucks.
He was supposed to be a 1st-round pick and then just fell apart.
Like, how the fuck does these players just fall apart? Like, I don't get it.
Like,
bro, almost every quarterback is falling apart. Like, why? Because the Jets are picking now? I think they're doing it on purpose, bro. They don't want to play for fucking Jets. All right, so here's
wide receiver options. Zachariah Branch. That's an intriguing one. He's a playmaker. Jonah Coleman is an interesting name at running back.
Oh, take him. We need a running back. Fuck it. Can he be a starter, you think?
Can he be a starter?
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean,
he'll split the role, I guess. Is he an every down back? My point.
All right, this is our last pick coming up here.
You're gonna have a whole bunch of shit.
Klubnik is still there.
Well, I'll take Aller though.
No, Aller's gone.
Oh, Pavia. Boom.
No, can't touch Pavia.
Oh,
no.
Well, who's this Jalen Daniels?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, take Klubnik then. Fuck it. We'll put him in our fucking quarterback room.
Put him in our farm system.
Done. I think we have one more coming, right?
No, that's it.
All right, cool.
We traded for another pick, but that's like just to make it look decent.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what we got, Ant. I think we got a good grade.
They want us to draft Jeremiah Love instead of Caleb Banks, but that doesn't make sense.
Hey, we got pretty good. That's an awesome friggin' draft.
Just trying to get the full screen here.
Yeah,
you got Ruben Bain. Fix the defense.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
put some. Picks. You got some three players in the front 7 that are going to be full-time starters, and then got a safety.
Is he good, that kid?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he was grading out higher when this whole season started, but he's good. I like him. I like Halsey better, but
Halsey.
Yeah,
he wasn't even there though.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
I do like him better. He's a pretty popular pick, at least from what we've done here. But
you know what it is? That 33rd pick, Anthony. Like, even though it's like Dominic said, it's like one of those things that is the most valuable pick outside of the first pick overall. He says, but me ask you, if you get one of these guys, like a fucking, like he said, like a CJ Allen as there, you can't trade that away, bro. That guy's a starter. He's a starter.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
I think if you're trying to recoup assets like big time, like throughout the rest of the draft, 33 is a good spot for it because there's going to be someone that's looking up there and like, oh crap, that guy's still there, and they're going to have 24 hours.
Why can't we have that guy? Someone's willing up to trade up for him. Why can't we have him?
Well, no, I'm not saying we can't. I'm just saying if you're trying to build your draft capital through the middle rounds, someone might get a little desperate at pick 33 because they've had 20 hours to stare at this player they didn't think that was going to be there. It's like, okay, then maybe now's the time to strike. But I'll start saving these now. I know we're at number 4. I can always go back and watch our videos and see what we did exactly.
Well,
But
I like this one the best so far.
yeah, it's I feel like it's similar to what we did that last time. I forget
Yeah.
what we ended up doing.
I think it's kind of realistic too. It's not like it's. I mean, really, is this not realistic to you? This
No,
can
I
happen.
think it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh no, we did use all the picks that we got.
Oh, we did.
119 was the other one.
119. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. All right, so I'll save this one.
All right.
But no, I think that's pretty much it. But that was fun having Dom on.
Yeah, it
having
was.
Team
I
on.
like it. Who's next? You're gonna get. What happened to the other guy you were gonna get on? Jeremy. What is his name? Jeremy.
I can reach out to him again. I was
That's
talking to him
Chaos?
earlier.
Isn't it?
Huh?
Chaos.
Yeah, I can reach out to him again. I was talking to him a little earlier today.
Did you find out about anybody else out there?
Did I find out anything else?
Yeah. Didn't you say you were also going to talk to
I won't say names, but yeah,
Right.
I was talking to a couple of people, see if I can get something worked out.
Oh, we're still live.
Jeremy was supposed to be on, so that's fair to say because he was. But anyway, but yeah, I'm trying to see what I can do as far as getting other people on, especially for draft season.
Yeah.
A lot of guys out there that do a lot of work for this time of year, so be nice to get one of them on. But all right, Dom, good time. Again, we had Dom C on. That was pretty awesome to get someone on here who actually knows the draft and knows it like the back of his hand. Someone does like, legit work on it.
Oh, yeah.
No, he does a great job. I'll send you some of the stuff that he's been sending for the Senior Bowl.
All right, cool.
He's
Yeah,
actually he's got some good videos out there.
I watch him a lot. I watch him a lot on Twitter. I watch him on all the time, YouTube.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's on a lot of people's shows. He's everywhere. All right. Well, Jeff fans, if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and shoot over to Dom C's page on YouTube. Follow him if you don't already. Like his stuff. Most importantly, let's go Jets.